Cool, excellent. So how's Otakon been for you so far?
Otakon's been great so far.
Yeah.
Except for the humidity.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying all weekend.
I mean, welcome to Baltimore.
Thank you.
Okay, so obviously the big thing for you right now is One Punch Man.
It's One Punch Man.
So tell me about how the One Punch Man experience has been for you so far.
It's been awesome. I love seeing all the cosplay out on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's very fun. Huge fans out there, which is amazing. I mean, One Punch Man was big before it even got a dub.
Right. I mean, it was huge as it was simulcast.
I think it was doing better than Modern Family on Hulu.
Right.
Which was it was the 7th most popular show, I want to say, on Hulu.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Hulu's got a lot of shows. So it's very... it hasn't all hit me yet, but it's great that it airs on Tsunami.
Of course. I mean, what's it like? You and I are about the same age, so I know I grew up watching Tsunami coming home after school.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you probably did the same thing.
Oh yeah. First thing I did after coming home from school was I got put the TV on and flipped straight to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. So what's it like to be on a show that's part of the Tsunami block?
It's amazing. There was the one thing I keep saying is that there was these, they do these little interstitials on Tsunami.
Yep.
And Steve Bloom voices Tom.
Of course.
And I've gotten to know Steve. He's an awesome guy. But I used to watch those little interstitials as a kid. And they had little they had one where it was like, follow your dreams and don't lose what you had as a kid. And they took snippets of Saitama from One Punch.
Oh, awesome.
And put him in the interstitial. I was like, oh wow. I had a moment. I just took a moment and just like this one tear rolling down my cheek.
So it's kind of come full circle.
It's very cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So I mean, as you mentioned, One Punch Man very much had a built-in audience by the time the dub was even announced. Yeah. So was that sort of intimidating for them to come over and be like, oh, by the way, you're going to be Saitama?
Well, I didn't know it was going to be on.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Yes. So I didn't know it was going to be on Tsunami, but it did have a built-in audience from the Japanese. It was less intimidating because you can't really think about that stuff when you're recording.
Right.
I've tried to learn to push those feelings away of the nerves. If you're in the booth and you're just thinking about the nerves, you can't be really present with the character and the director. But auditioning for the character was nerve-wracking because we had a series of callbacks. And every callback, it was like, am I getting closer or further away? I can't tell. So that was very anxiety-inducing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Other roles, you've done a lot of video games as well. Fire Emblem is another series that definitely had that enormous built-in audience from Awakening. So what was sort of the audition process like for Fates, which was so highly anticipated?
Yeah. Well, I had never played Fire Emblem.
Okay.
So I wasn't super familiar with the game or with the fan base. I really only found out about it until after, and I'm glad. I'm glad that I only knew about it after I had done it.
Okay.
But it is one of the biggest things people come up to me about is Fire Emblem, and it's cool because I got to play 3 characters in that.
Right.
So it's fun seeing people come up with their different favorites.
Oh,
most of the time that's Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Now, you've done a number of JRPGs besides Fire Emblem, including Star Ocean and the Atelier games and whatnot. But then you've also done Western games. So you've done Fallout and you've done Battlefront. So can you tell me sort of like, is there a difference in voice acting for a Japanese-style game versus a Western-style game?
I'd say so. I'd say JRPGs are stylistic.
Okay.
Or they're tonally different from say Fallout. Fallout games in general tend to be more grounded.
Yeah.
And especially Western games, I'd say, stuff that isn't JRPG.
Right.
Because as fun as JRPG is, it is definitely not a formula, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it's its own genre.
Right. You go into it and you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, whereas, say, Halo is completely different from Fallout.
Right.
Battlefront, for instance, I got to play... I don't think I'd ever play this type of character in a JRPG. I got to play the Corran, which is a canon... Now it's a canon Star Wars character, which is very cool. But he's just this... Every line he did was shouted at the top of his lungs, and it was in a different language. It was in Quaranese.
Right.
Also, a very unique experience.
Of course.
It's all very fun. It's all very fun, but I guess for me, it's like voice acting is the spice of life. You get to mix it up. The more variety, the better. And I love doing everything. Every opportunity I get to be in a new property, it's my favorite. The first day of recording, it's my absolute favorite.
Awesome. Now, Star Wars being Star Wars, what's it like to be a part of Star Wars?
It's super cool. Like I said, it's like I'm a canon character in Star Wars because they said that Battlefront was part of that.
Right.
It's great.
Right.
It's great. I mean, it feels cool. I mean, I think like everyone, I was a fan of Star Wars growing up.
Of course, yeah.
So it's just it's another one to kind of cross off my bucket list.
Of course.
You know.
Absolutely. Another big series in the U.S. has been Miraculous. Now that's sort of an odd series because it definitely had somewhat of a fandom presence before making its way over. But what's been the response so far to Miraculous?
Huge. I had no idea it would be so huge. People love that show. And there's a ton of cosplay for it, too.
Yeah.
It's completely unexpected. I had no idea.
Is it weird to be able to, like, go into a Toys R Us and, like, pick out a plush of a character that you voice?
Well, you may not believe it, but I haven't been in a Toys R Us in quite some time. Are they selling Plagg yet?
Yeah, I've seen Plagg stuff.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I have to get one. I can't get my hands on one. It is very cool. The first experience I had with that actually was Blur from Transformers.
Okay.
I play this Transformer.
Yeah.
And they made two toys. One was like a bigger one, and one was a small one that transformed into a race car. And that was surreal to have my toy. It didn't have my voice coming out of it, but still.
Yeah, it's like, still your character.
This is my character from that show in toy form. It was awesome.
Awesome. And I guess my last question would just be, is there anything you're able to talk about as far as what you've got coming down the line?
Oh, man. Anytime I get asked that question, I'm like, I wish I could.
You're on those NDAs.
Literally, I don't think I can talk about any of the stuff I'm doing.
Just more One Punch Man.
Just One Punch Man. Follow me on Twitter. That's what I'll say.
Cool.
If you follow me on Twitter, at Max Mittelman, Mittelman, I will update. There's a lot of stuff coming out.
Awesome.
So I will update along the way everything that comes out.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.